Hi everyone, we are Group 26. Our research industry is the clothing industry. There are 5 members in our group. I divided the presentation into the 3 parts. In first part, I will give you an overview of the garment industry. The second part analyze the challenges faced by the industry by Bao Xinhan and Jing Chenyan. In the third part, Chang Qu and Hao Baoxu analyze how to help clothing companies to manage. Let me begin with an overview of the clothing industry. When it comes to garment industry, manufacturing industry comes to mind first. Relation to manufacture, almost every country has developed the topical ones are China, UK, USA, Japan, Germany, and France, Ireland. Their countries are even over the country of history, and some have moved always from manufacturing. Some has just begun manufacture. And first, British started the world first industrial revolution and created the first manufacturing country. American manufacturing countries followed. Japanese manufacturers followed. German industry is a global innovative industry. Human cost is a very important issue. The rise of China German industry cannot be spread from the larger population. China is currently the world's largest customer and products of clothing. In 2003 station, the United States, the Europe, Japan are the main customer of textile. The Japan Textile Import Association estimates that 87% of clothing sold in Japan is important, and until 2002, the U.S. accounted for 21% of the global operator import market. There is a sizable garment industry in Europe, especially in South Europe. Europe's garment industry employs 2.5 million people and has a turnover of 229 billion. According to Flygen in 2003, it can be seen that the main participants in the garment industry are China, the United States, and the European Union. With the improvement of people's quality of life, clothes is no longer just basic work such as warmth, but more used for aesthetic to modify their body and over function. Clothes is an irreplaceable product, and the garment industry is as active as the world. However, in recent years, the global population again problem is increased. Japan's total population for 124 million in 2020, a decline of about 3 million in 11 years. The total share of Japan population age over 35 is more than 28%. China used to have a larger population, but due to the change of conception of fertility, the population is gradual again. The demand for clothing over the next decade is expected to decline. However, the quality of life in Africa has been significantly improved, and more clothing can be sent to Africa in the future, open up new clothing markets. The garment industry is largely privately owned. Competition in the garment industry is fierce. With the dissatisfaction of clothing, people's perception of clothing change. Market competition goes far beyond reducing lower cost. The designer clothes concept, the influence of broad effect, the scale of broad sales, and the win of fashion and becomes the competition of the clothing industry. Now Bao Xinhan is with us for part 2.
Thank you, Tianyang. The first challenge is competition. As Tianyang mentioned, the clothing industry is a labor-intensive industry, and the clothing production is mainly concentrated in countries with low labor costs. China, Bangladesh, and India, for example, account for more than half of the clothing exports. The clothing production industry in these countries has also brought great competitiveness to the clothing industry all over the world. In the past, clothing manufacturers in Asia were mostly small and privately owned, so they had to cut, trim, and manufacture. However, with the increase of the multinational clothing industry, these Asian countries are more and more involved in design and distribution. Although these companies currently focus on the local markets, it is only a matter of time before they expand to the Western market or even the global market. The second challenge is local policy. The clothing industry market is all over the world. If you want to gain a place and get profits in a country, you must abide by the local laws and policies. If you violate the local policy or make some insulting remark about the host country, the industry will be punished, which will affect the reputation of the industry and even withdraw from the local market. For example, in March 2021, H&M issued a statement by boycott Xinjiang cotton and first label and religious discrimination of Xinjiang. Chinese people strongly opposed and say they would not buy any products of H&M. Meanwhile, the spokesperson of H&M in China also refused to assign a contract with the H&M company, which means they would no longer be the spokesperson of H&M brand. Chinese landlords have closed shops and their products have been pulled from the major e-commerce platforms. They put the interests of countries above all else. As a result, sales in China fell 23% of local currency in the second quarter. More than 1,800 stores were temporarily closed. The third challenge is tariffs. Consolidation and geographical mismatch lead to the deepening of the China protectionism. It also means multinational clothing companies will have to pay high tax. If you want to export clothes to other countries, this will bring huge financial challenges to the multinational clothing industry. For example, the United States tax on the clothing industry ranked the first among all the competitors in the United States, according to the survey. Imports of clothing and clothing accessories, two major categories of the clothing industry, totally 80.6 billion pounds last year. Nearly 64 billion pounds was subject to the tax. Next, Jingcheng will introduce other three challenges of a global clothing industry.
Okay, thank you, Baoxin. I will introduce the other three challenges. The first challenge is fast fashion. With the increase of technology and e-commerce, the clothing industry is moving into a fast fashion model, so the industry have to face volatile and diverse markets. According to the current market, fast fashion is most popular in the current clothing industry, and many multinational clothing companies are developing in the direction of fast fashion. Zara is a typical fast fashion clothing company. Many clothing companies pursuing fast fashion will launch a large number of new products every week. The number of all sales of clothes is constantly increasing, resulting in a waste of resources. And the fifth challenge is accident. It's because of the rise of fast fashion. Many fast fashion companies to increase the demand for clothing, and most of the labor-intensive industries concentrated in the Southeast Asian countries, where the population density is big. Backward economy, closing manufacturing plant equipment, humble staff, poor working conditions, which may endanger the life safety of the employees. For example, a few days after the closing factory collapsed in Bangladesh on 24 April 2013, which resulted in the death of approximately 1,000 people and the injury of 2,500 others. The local governments closed 8 more clothing factories because of the horrendous working conditions, and more than 22 million people in India have been infected with the new virus, and the number is rising as large crowds attend religious festivals and political gatherings. The government have to shut down clothing manufacturers to stop a spread of the disease. As a direct result, some fast fashion companies stopped supplying their products, and the company suffered financial. And the last is environment. With the rapid development of fashion, environmental problems become more serious. Polyester fiber is the main material of clothing. For example, Western polyester clothing buried underground cannot be degraded, and boring clothing will produce a large amount of toxic gas. Washing clothes will produce a lot of microplastics. According to statistics, 500 million tons of microplastics will be discharged into the sea every year, causing marine pollution. In addition, the annual use large amount of water in the production process. According to the statistics, more than 9.3 million cubic meters of water will be used for clothing production every year. This will lead to serious water shortage in the world. Then Changqu will introduce the next section.
Thanks, Yan Yancheng, and my name is Xu Chang. And this is my part, the strategies of MNC. The development of the world economy is attracted by commodities in the second half of the 20th century, especially since the late 1980s and the development trends of the world economy will have a profound impacted the basic situation of the world economy at the beginning of the 21st century. The development of economic globalization, the deepening of the regional economic operation, and the promotion of knowledge economic have the greatest impact of the new century. The changes in international trade, investment, and production are a promoter of the development and the change of the world economy. On the contrary, the development and change of the world economy affect international trade, investment, and production in both quality and quantity, and not global economic trade. Instead, in recent years, the world economy has shown the attractiveness of low economic growth, low cross-border trade flow, low inflation rates, low investment growth, low interest rates, and high debt. Investment growth is generally slowing, including developing countries, and countries with economies in transition. The global economic downturn has brought negative effects to some countries, such as weak foreign exports, a large number of layoffs, of even closure of export-dependent enterprises, and increasing downward pressure on the economy. A series of factors have affected the design and adjustment of multinational corporation marketing space, and from that, affected by the slowdown of global economic growth and economic transformation, economic acceleration has increased, although the government industry has bounded development prospect has a fully competitive and optional consumer on industry. The competition is becoming more and more intense due to the global economy trends. The government industry will also face great challenges. Okay, this is all of my part. Xiaobo will show the next part for you.
Okay, thanks, Chuchang. Hello, everyone. My name is Xu Haobo, and this is my part, strategies for MNCS facing challenges. And these are three parts about the challenges. First of all, selection of target market. Multinational companies seeking specific consumer groups for specific products or services can improve marketing efficiency. In the global economic downturn, with the improvement of China's urbanization level and the development of e-commerce, the selection standard of the target market of multinational companies in China has gradually changed from the standard of regional division to the standard of consumer differences. And second, innovated and integrated sales channels. Strengthen the service function of marketing channel and the interaction of channel relationship. During the economic downturn, the consumption capacity of Chinese residents was slightly insufficient compared with the production capacity of enterprises, and the Chinese market gradually became a buyer's market. Multinational companies pay more attention to the service function of marketing channels. In addition to form good interaction and communication with the dealer, direct contact with consumers, strengthen the customer relationship management. Optimal design of supply and demand relations can improve the efficiency of the distribution link, reduce the negative impact of the long tail. In addition, our relationship with the consumer also can win a better reputation. The mode of marketing channel has changed from singleness to diversification, and multiple forms of compound channels have been widely adopted. In most at the beginning of the multinational companies to enter the Chinese market, companies through cooperation with domestic dealers formed from the national general agent to dealers and consumers on a single distribution model. But with an increase in the number of distribution channels of competitors, increasing competition products as in recent years, the economic downturn traditional industries, especially the process of manufacturing capacity. Third of enterprise brand capitalization. In the economic downturn, the competition mode of exploiting marketing by new products and beating competitors by low price will be reduced, while the way of gaining premium and by cultivating brand equity will become the direction of development of multinational companies. Brand equity influences consumers' behavior. For example, when it comes to fast retailing fashion clothing brands, we will think of Zara and Gap and other brands. When people want to choose simple, fashionable clothes with accessible price, they will think of these brands. The application of brand strategy of multinational companies in China is mainly reflected in establishing close relationship between brand and customer. Multi-brand strategy taking social responsibility to enhance brand impression, and so on. And this is our PowerPoint references. Okay, thanks for your attention. Thank you.